Yo, what's up guys? It's the new sensation, Big Annotation here, and today I'm here once again joined by Mikey, my fellow teammate from T-2, as you can see. We're here hot off the regionals that just happened like a couple of hours ago. Both of us brought pretty much the exact same list, and that is the set 12 Shroom Salsa leader. We both finished top 8. I've myself managed to squeeze in 4th place, and Mikey unfortunately just below me on the 5th place. But we had to put the vegan spice on the map. Isn't that right, Mikey?
Hell yeah! What's up, people? Nice to have you. Nice to be there.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I saw this set 12 Shroom Salsa list doing well in America at one point, and I wanted to give it a go for a bit of fun. And then I started working on it, and I was like, wait, this deck actually has really good matchups into a lot of the meta right now. Let me share this with the team and give it a try. And yeah, Mikey was on the deck. Peter, who unfortunately didn't want to join us today, but he was also on the deck. Yeah, we really enjoyed playing it, and we think it's a really strong pick right now. So we'll just break it down, briefly go through the list, but then mainly talk about like different matchups that we had throughout the day and how we, tackled each of the meta.
Yeah, because the most important part of the deck is that you play differently against every other matchup, and the deck can manage to be control grinding to the aggressive one. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's definitely a very adaptable deck, which is a common theme amongst black decks, to be honest. It's something I really enjoy about the color. But briefly covering the leader, because it's maybe a lesser known leader. On both sides, when it attacks, it draws 1, and it also has a once per turn auto where if it's in a battle and you combo a black battle card, your opponent chooses a battle card in their drop area to send to the warp, and then if they have no battle cards in warp after that, you get to draw another card. The awaken is when your life is 4 or less, or your opponent has 4 or more cards in their warp, and then on the backside he gains an activate main for 1 energy. If there are no battle cards in the opponent's drop, you play a 2-drop Evil Wizard, Demon Realm Race, or Demon God from your deck or hand. So lots of strong draw power and lots of drop area manipulation, basically. So going into the deck, we have 8 1-drop cantrips. 10 even. 10 1-drop cantrips, yeah.
We had 8. We had 8, but we...
Yeah. So obviously 1-drop cantrips are going to be very important in this deck because you can play 1 to draw 1. And then you can swing with leader, draw off leader, and then combo it with the leader to draw another card. So your cantrips basically become draw 2s, which is crazy. So you want to make sure that you see them early on, which is why we run so many. The Toa Twisted Sister specifically has great synergy with the deck because it shuffles back cards from the drop area to set up the leader's backside activate main, and just more draw power. And then, yeah, do you want to talk about the 2 mechis that we added in last minute? Because we were very back and forth on these 2 slots. We were trying a lot of stuff. We tried, what was it, the 3-drop SALSERINO? We were trying that.
Yeah, 3-drop SALSERINO, free play, but we managed to put the mechis in, and it has some things going after it, because once it's a cantrip, so it helps us to generate more hand early on, so we can have like the 13-15 card hand size by turn 3. And also it has kind of niche effect that actually works in a deck, which is the Overlord, which generates a free draw as well, and the 5k combo, so it's a +3 in those terms. So it's a cool card, and I believe it fits the deck, and can be useful.
Yeah, and we were trying, like I say, a lot of stuff in these 2 spots. Like, I think we tried like the Tag Team Gohans as well, loads of different cards, and none of them really quite fitted with what the deck wanted to do. So yeah, we just figured we'd stick some more cantrips in. It's another search target off the Salsa, but it also means you have more chances to see cantrips in your opening hand, which is really important for the deck. And the best part about it is you get to flex the new Demon Realm Soldier tokens. Let's go! Yeah, best card in the deck. But yeah, 10 cantrips is very important.
By the way, guys, it's 50 cards list, of course.
Oh yeah, of course. We get close to decking out every game, but we don't give a fuck. Hell no. Also, something important to note is this Salsa, when it's comboed from Warp, it's a 6k combo. which is really important going into the Z leader because it basically becomes a 10k on defense.
Yeah.
And then into the main juice of the deck, we have the Toa Chain. This new card, oh my god, the way that this card supports Demon Realm race decks is crazy.
First time I read it, I wasn't surprised by it. I didn't actually see the value it generates, but yeah, like 20k deflect crit, warps anything, swaps for free into draw one. Duel, it's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like, well, like myself as well, a lot of people probably read the card after Champa got banned and went, oh my god, Demon Realm races have a 15k Champa, that's sick. But you also need a Unison in play for that, and I feel like everyone was sleeping on the actual like on-play auto and the fact that you can use it as a swap target, which turns out what it's most broken for in this deck, because we don't run a Unison, obviously. But yeah. Toa, this is one of the few targets that you can play from deck on the leader activate main. And also another broken thing is that you can play it with the Toa Z battle card, which we can get into later. But basically this is a 2 energy guy, but sometimes you just play it for 1 energy, because why not? And then swaps into this 3-drop Toa, which is a 15k dual attack. It draws a card, so it just replaces itself basically and applies a bit more pressure. And then it has... The rest of the text on the auto rarely comes up, but when it does, it is like completely broken. Because if your opponent has a Unison with 4 or more markers in play, they either warp 2 cards from their hand or like 2 battle cards on their board or a combination, or you just take their Unison. So like in some matchups, this card just becomes the MVP of the game. Like you play against a blue deck, they drop Blue Unison on you, you go, okay, just every turn, swing with leader, draw 1, combo, draw 1, play Toa, swap. Warp 2 please, draw 1. And then you pass. That's it. That's all you do against blue decks if they drop Boo Unison. Because they don't want to give you the Boo, but then they just like warp 2 from their hand every turn and you go like +3 on your turn from drawing cards.
And they don't get to use the minus effect of the Boo to get rid of the marker.
Yeah, you just leave it on 4 markers and keep ripping their hand down. And then kind of the last 2 cards of the Toa Chain are these Dark Sorceresses.
Your cam went off focus.
Oh, thank you. There we go. We got this old ass promo, the Toa Dark Sorceress. We've been very back and forth on this card, I feel, because Mikey initially suggested it to me, and I was like, oh, that's a sick card, because like people who start to learn what the deck does mid-game will start to like load up their drop area a bit more, and then this can just punish them for that, because they might have over-comboed on a few swings to try and load it up. And then you just shuffle back 4 battle cards from their drop area, and you have your deck set up again. And then you ended up just like siding it out pretty much every game today, right?
Yeah. I didn't find it very helpful. When I couldn't draw my leader second auto, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just live without it. But I definitely overestimated the card for myself. But as we talked about it, you find it useful to just drop it and then go straight into the Mechie, so
yeah, I found this card, I think I played it twice throughout the regionals, which granted it's not an MVP of the deck or anything, but you know, it still has its moments.
You can always charge it and it's searchable.
Yeah, it's searchable, it's a 5k combo, so you can combo it to draw off leader. It's not too bad, but like on turns where you might get floodgated and you might just want to play a guy from deck off your leader skill to get value, you can just play this for 1, it replaces itself by drawing a card, sets up the opponent's drop area. And it's also really good. What I did use it for a lot was just disrupting sparking. Like I was against a blue player and I dropped this guy down when he had, I think, 7 cards in drop. And then just shuffled back cards from his drop until he had 4 in drop. Jesus, this is hard to say. Yeah, just shuffled back until he had 4 in drop so that he couldn't sparking D-Magic and then got pressure because he was tapped out from there. But yeah, it's a fine card. It's searchable. It has its moments. I still think it's worth running, just because there's not, like with the 2 slots we had for the Mechie, we just couldn't find what to fit in. We're not going to find anything to fit in for these 2 slots either.
Yeah, that's true.
And then going on, we have these 8 drops, the Demon God Shroom, Demon God Salsa. Main thing for this card is it's a 10k combo, which you can free combo from Z Leader from Warp. But there are also a lot of games where you will end up playing it from Warp. I find myself, a lot of the time, if I think I'm going to Awaken If I think my opponent's going to force me down to like 3 or 4 life next turn, I'll just pass with 1 energy open, and then when they start forcing me down, once I get to 4 life, I'll combo a guy, draw off frontside leader skill, awaken to untap 1, draw 1, combo to draw off backside leader skill, and then pay the 2 energy for this guy from warp. So I combo out of a 20k swing potentially, and I get to play this guy from warp all for free.
I'm doing the different play.
Yeah.
What I've been doing, I really like the card because it fulfills 2 cards to your warp, to your opponent warp. So what I've been doing, I was like counting to 2, and most likely on 3 energy because somebody played Z battle or stuff and blah blah blah. I was swinging with my leader on 3 energy. I was comboing 2 cards away. Tapping 2 for the Shroom Salsa, so I have 4 cards in the warp, awaken, combo 1 more to draw on leader, and then play Meki or anything else, and have 35k double strike on the board.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Turn 3, it's amazing.
Yeah, but this is
exactly. And I played it like 2 or 3 times today, so yeah.
Yeah, it definitely comes up, and there are even times where like your opponent will just have a barrier threat on board. And if they don't have much else on the board, you just clear the rest of their board with like the Toas or your Z battle cards, and then you just swing combo 2 guys to clear the barrier threat, which did come up for me a couple of times. I think I played against a green Gohan where they had Goku Fated Rivals on the board, and I just used this to clear it instantly. It was great. But like this is also what we mean when we say you can play the deck very differently between different games and between different players as well. Because me and Mikey, as you can hear, we're all just playing the deck very differently across our games. And then kind of the last card that you want to see in opening mulligan, I'd argue all of these cards other than the 4-drop Toa are cards that you look for in the mulligan, because like ideal opening hand is a couple of cantrips, a 2-drop Toa, a 3-drop Toa, the Trunks, and the 8-drop, because you want to use this Trunks early on to get the 8-drops into warp, and it is really nicely set up because you're obviously comboing a lot early. You're comboing off your cantrips to get Z energy, so that you can go into this Toa Z battle card. And the Toa Z battle card costs 2 Z energy, so then if you, on the turn where you go up the Toa chain, if you let one of your other cards that you combo go to drop, you can then play this guy, get you a 15k swing or a free combo, and then warp off the 8-drop from hand.
This is gonna be a half-an-hour video, bro.
Yeah, I'll try not to explain so much. But this Trunks, I was honestly using it. I was just playing it and then comboing it off leader a lot of the time as well, to be fair.
Yeah, me too.
Especially with 20k Z leaders these days. Other overrealms, we've got Goku and Vegeta, just standard good black stuff.
Classic standard combo.
The black spice. Combo. Speaking of spice,
1 energy, 2 30ks.
Yeah, it's broken. We have 2 Meki. Again, you can play it from deck off leader, so if you don't want to play a Toa because the swap skill is limit 1, you can just play this, or if you don't need the removal. And then we also run the 1 Bull, which is, I love this tech so much. It is one of my favorite techs since this combo came out. And like Meki is really good this format as well, but you can then search Bull, and then you can bottom deck all of these pieces again off of your Toa Z battle card or your super combos to then just do it all again like a couple of turns down the line.
Amazing combo, amazing.
Cameras, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the 2 Gokus here. I was siding them up. Yeah, this is a big flex spot. I was siding out 1 copy a lot of times.
Yeah, it's fine with 1, I think.
Yeah, I think I played it once throughout the whole day. Jesus, whole day, and never comboed with it either. So it's like. It's still a card worth running. It's still a good card. The 1 energy double strike.
One energy 25 double. It's alright, right?
Yeah, but again, there's like too few cards that you actually need in the deck because it's all just Toa chain and SCR basically. Yeah. We got 2 super Kamehameha because fuck floodgates. And then 4 super combos. So we were on the gravy super combo for a while because it's searchable off the salsa.
Yeah, fuck that.
But we figured we've had a lot of times where we'd be on like 17 cards in hand, but 6 of them would be like extra cards or the one cost 10k with the 8-drop. And so people could still kill us. So this just kind of meant that people can't kill us even if we go down low life because we have much bigger hand size. And we can also cycle things that we need in deck, like targets for the leader skill or the Dark Dragon Ball. Secret Rare.
That's the best Black Super combo.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Secret Rare, broken. Evil Saiyan, dumb. Defensive cards, we have 2 Gohan Rare, 2 Power Burst, 2 Token Negate, 2 Petrification. Petrification, just a dumb card this format. It's just like a better version of Kai Negate, really. Supports.
Yeah, because everything has barrier now.
Yeah.
So you don't get the auto from the Kai. I mean, Kai is by far better than Negate overall because it's a battle card, it's a combo.
Yeah.
You don't pitch a card and stuff. But now with all the barrier shit and on-attack autos getting really powerful, Petrification steps up and
For sure.
far better. And of course, one more thing against Koitsukai. This deck right now has 4 negates that doesn't make you suffer from Koitsukai.
Yeah.
Where previously it was like if somebody Koitsukai us, it was just game over. I mean, we ripped our hand.
And a lot of green Gohan decks are main decking Koitsukai these days. And Supreme Kai, again, it can just be counterplayed in the worst case.
After today, because we played 3 Petrification, I will sneak it that the other one is in the side. I would like to play fucking 4.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. It is so broken.
4.
Yeah. The only thing I
didn't... Also against yellow, Sin.
Yeah.
He locks in, he can't negate the skills.
Yeah, Peter put me on that the night before the regionals. I didn't end up playing against a deck that played Sin, but yeah, it was good.
I did it today.
Yeah.
Petrified the Sin. Yeah.
Power Burst is really solid because you have so many 1-drop cantrips. The only thing I didn't like about this lineup was the token negates. I think I only had them in the deck for 1 game because it was against a blue deck. I was siding these out a lot. Flex spot. You could put. I'd be tempted to go like 3 Power Burst for one of the token negates. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think so.
Z deck. We have the Z leader. You Z awaken when you're at 2 or less life for 3 Z energy. So it's expensive as fuck. But
2 or less, bro.
Yeah.
Should have been 3.
It should have been, bro. You don't understand how much I've compared this to the Sin Z leader and complained. But like, the fact that you get such a big hand size in this deck means that being on 2 life a lot of the time doesn't matter unless they have like an auto burn con, like win con, like Beast Gohan or something. And then also you can.
It's more like you're baiting them. It's more like you're baiting them.
Go into you,
and then people realize that they have 8 cards in hand. You have 15 and a 20k leader that can combo stuff from warp.
Yeah.
So they know they will not push through it.
Yeah. And then 2 of the Toazy battle cards. It's got an activate main where you bottom deck a card from hand. So again, cycling the Mechis and the Bulls back into your deck for leader skill. And then you can play a 2 cost or less with swap from hand. So you just play the 2-drop Toa. This card, if this lives over multiple turns, you just get so much free advantage. It's crazy.
If it lives a turn, bro, it's
yeah.
disgusting.
I had a lot of people where they just didn't kill this card because they couldn't, or they would prioritize other things. And yeah, it just hard carries those games.
Also, fun fact is that you can't have the game that your SCR is your last card in deck because you're bottom decking cards by yourself, so you're controlling the stack, and it's more consistent to draw the SCR, and you limit your hands to have it like a last card of the deck.
Yeah, and also you can check when it's in deck off of the leader skill or off of the Mechie search. And then 2 Boo, because it's the best Black Sea battle card.
Yet.
The next one, that Goku is looking saucy, I'm not gonna lie. 1 surmounting. I didn't play this all day. Did you? I don't know if you played it at all, the surmounting.
I killed the guy with it.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. Surmounting MVP, never mind. We're keeping it in.
Yeah.
But it's probably worth still playing. Like, I never had a time where I wanted to play 3 of either of these, so it's fine.
Nah.
And then 1 Demigra. This is something that you had the idea of, where if you brick, you can play this on turn 2, and then overarm Trunks with the 3 that you drop for the Z energy and just get some draw power going.
And it happened to me today.
Yeah.
I did exactly that play. I played the Demigra over and the truck, draw 3 cards, and that completely fixed my game.
Yeah.
And it's also a removal, and they have to deal with it, because if it stays for in the game for a turn, it's gonna be just drawing and being massive body.
100%. Yeah. Last night I did have a last minute like, oh, should I play the third Toa? Because I saw Peter was running 3 Toa and he'd cut the Demigra, and I stuck with it because I was like, if I brick it, this is just MVP card. I didn't have this come up in the regionals, but I've had it come up in testing before, and it's actually really good. But yeah, that's the Z deck. And then side deck. I think this is where the list differs in the side deck somewhere.
One card.
One card, yeah.
Because I didn't get it through my post.
We got 2 Black Smokes. This is honestly mostly in for the barrier removal, I feel.
It's just the card I wish to cut the most.
Next
I was so talking to Ollie, bro, I hate this card.
Yeah.
It gives us nothing.
It's so awful.
I'd rather play fucking A-drop and warp my opponent's hand.
Yeah.
Why would I play? It's but you have to.
Against Sin. And free if you play against Freezer Swap. They've got the 5-drop Freezer. Just warp it.
Yeah.
It's nice against Unisons. I was siding it in against Green Gohan, and I did have it come up for me where they dropped a Unison, and I needed to play this to clear it. Because against Green, if they have free Dormant and Charismatic to just keep popping your Toa chains, it is going to ruin you throughout that game.
Yeah.
So I was siding this in against every Green Gohan in case they played a Unison version, and one of them did, and it came in really clutch. 2 Bardock overround. This card is broken.
MVP.
I think I sided this in against like maybe 4 or 5 of my matchups and just took out the other overarms. I know that you kept the overarms in, the Goku Vegeta.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this card is crazy.
I love overarm.
This is where the list differs, right? The 1 hunt.
Yes. I wish I had it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you didn't have the hunt, you played a second Dabura.
I played a second Dabura. To be honest, I didn't even side Daburas against Gohan. I feel like...
I don't think you need it. Yeah. It did nothing for me today. Yeah. I just had it as a one-off because it's searchable, but yeah, it was... I had one game where I saw it because I searched it, and I charged it next turn.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need it.
You don't need Dabura, to be honest. Like, these cards against Gohan are enough.
It's the 4th petrification, guys.
Yeah, 4th petrification. Speaking of which, 3rd petrification.
It's still Dabura, so you don't lose on the character, you know?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, these are like the cards that I was siding in against Gohan. And then 2 of this Gohan. This was a very last-minute decision that you brought to me as well.
Because I hate going into blue when they have infinite energy, and it's so complex to calculate everything that he has in hand.
For sure.
To not over push your aggression, right?
Yeah, and this just fixes all of that.
Fixes. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, this card was definitely a big MVP because I played 2 blue decks. And I think there was one game where the guy dropped double Beerus battle card over the course of 2 turns to try and clear this, and I super Kamehameha'd both of them, and he just he had no turn after that. It was kind of unfortunate. And then speaking of which, 3rd super Kamehameha. I think this is mostly just for yellow. I find myself siding this out a lot or just not using it. But
I didn't even side it in against yellow. I was siding double Koitsukai. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was because you can show already the Koitsukai. I already talked about it.
Yeah, we got 2 Koitsukai.
So the thing is, when I was playing against yellow decks, I knew they will not push me down to 4. So my super Kamehamehas are live, and I wanted to make a pressure on them. So I basically used Koitsukai against any turn that I was trying to make some like moves that can be crippled by some battle cards play, and Koitsukai is the best way to do it. Like, okay, you can play it, and I was playing with Bulma that day, and he warped like 8 cards of 1 Koitsukai, but he had to, otherwise he would be dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, this card is nuts.
Yeah, I think we initially put Koitsukai in for the Android 21 matchup because, again, as you said, they're not going to push you down to 4 early. And this card will just punish them for like defending friends or anything like that. I've never tried siding it against yellow. I'm a Koitsukai hater, but you know, Mikey's the Black Master, so I'll trust his judgment with this card. And then the one Black Marseillan, again, this is mostly for yellow, well, especially for Golden Frieza when they're swinging triple attack with the Unisons. Being Z-Awakened and then using this to go to 25k base when they're swinging, like they're spending their whole turn on 25k swings, you're just going to have a bigger hand size than them. So, yeah, this card is very nice for Golden Frieza matchup, I find.
Yeah.
And then last two cards are the two Shins. Mainly for Vegito, I feel like. They can be good into Green Gohan. I know you were siding them against Green Gohan. I wasn't personally. But they're MVP against Vegito because you can chain like this card and then Meki from deck to cool the Vegito 8-drop. And then Bardock Overrealm, and you just have like 3 free turns.
Yeah, and then kill the turn after. So.
Yeah. How did you find this card into Green Gohan then?
It was kind of a like, that moment decision. I was like, Shin works against him, and I can charge more than 2 energies and be fine with the 8-drop if I don't see my petrifications, right? Because what I was like, what my game plan was against Green Gohan is like, I used petrification early on Vegeta to fuck up his Z energy and his time chamber. It completely fucks this deck, but we will talk about it later. So I needed some sort of protection against the 8-drop if I didn't see a second copy for that, right? What I was doing as well was I tried to limit their Z-Awaken so they burn my life, because I'm fine if they just kill something and discard 1 card from my hand. I'm not fine if they burn my life. That's the annoying part. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, going into matchups, I guess, should we cover the matchups that we each face throughout the day and then cover how you want to play against each deck?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
So yeah, take the floor. You can go first and discuss your matchups.
All right. So my matchups was round 1, Majin. I'm gonna go through all of them and then talk briefly about every game. Round 2, Green Gohan. Round 3, Bulma. Round 4, Green Gohan. My only loss to Ivan. To be honest, that was a 1 game, except the fact that I didn't draw a single negate up to turn 5 when I died. If I had just 1 negate, doesn't matter which it was, I had 2 energy open. I would have survived that turn and killed him after. But it's fine. Like, it's a card game. Shit happens. Great player nonetheless. Fun thing is he asked me that he likes the deck, but he doesn't think it's the deck that can win an event. And then, like, if I didn't lose that game, I think I would be set up to fucking win this. So yeah, I do find this deck can be winnable deck on the event.
I agree
Especially
with that.
It generates a lot of free value, and the SDR is broken. So then I played again another Green Gohan, win, and the last round was against set to Vegito. He started, so you know, guys, how it works with Vegeta when he starts. You gotta be threatened by turn 3 SCR, which draws 4 cards, rests your stuff, and leaves you at like 1 or 2 lives. Fortunately, I drew my Shin turn 2, which stole me the turn. And on the next turn, I managed to awaken. I call Meki Kabura Vegito 8-drop. So I took another turn off him, and then I SCR'd him for the game.
Yeah, SCR in that match
so
was so good.
Overall, it was pretty decent. Okay, so Majin, that's the most annoying one, I think. Mainly yellow. I mean, they still struggle against our plays. No, don't get me wrong, but yellow is tricky because it has access to blanking your skills and a lot of barriers, which this deck for now has problem dealing with.
Wait till next set though, that combo.
Yeah, wait for the next set. Black is back and big wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because that's why we play Smoke Dragons. Because if somebody drops Sin on you, just immediately tap 2 Smoke Dragon. Just get the fuck out of here. Or you petrify them. That's the other way around it. So you have 2 options to do it. And Vegeta is the leader that you can't kill with battle card, basically. So it's kind of annoying that you have to like flex into different areas to like approach the kill turn against the Majin. But fortunately, I drew pretty good that game, and he missed on his Goku. So also calling Mechikabura 4-drop Vegeta. He can't swing, guys. He can't play anything aggressive that turn. It's just shuts them down. Like like half of the deck doesn't work. No duos, no Majins. You can play the 2-drop Goku fine, but it will not resend anything because there is no Vegeta in play. So yeah, it was pretty good. The Mechikabura, if you know the meta, is broken card. Especially for 1 energy.
Yeah, for 1 it's energy. So strong.
Yeah. Green Gohan, as I mentioned earlier, just stall him out and you will grind him out of resources. That's the strategy.
Yeah.
Try, if you have petrification, my advice is, guys, if you have like 2 or 3 Shins inside, it depends how many run. I'd rather put Shins in and put petrifications in if you're playing black, and just petrify that Vegeta on turn 1, because it delays them a full turn of Hyperbolic Time Chamber, which makes them awaken later, which makes them Z-awaken later, which makes them burn later, which is everything is working towards your win condition, which is survive more to finally just push with STR. And I found it, I did it 2 out of 3 times, the petrification on Vegeta. And the 3rd time I didn't do it because he wasn't playing the Chen. The other guy played Krillin, so I
was gonna say two of my Gohan matchups were Krillin turn 1 instead of Vegeta, and I was like, huh? Yeah. Wait, I haven't seen this guy before.
So Bulma was just a golden cooler. I didn't take damage early. He golden coolered me turn 5 when I had like 13 cards in hand. Took me down from 5 to 3 with the first swing. Then I petrified the golden cooler because I had super combo range available for me, and I had 7 cards in hand instead of 3 to petrify the least useful card, and killed him turn after. So yeah, with that Koitsukai warp 8 cards from hand. Then twice Gohan, as I said, the same strategy. Unfortunate on the lose. And Vegito, yeah. Shin, Meki, Bardock the Tenacious. 3 turns that you survive for basically 1 energy each.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then you set up for the kill.
Exactly. And then in terms of my matchups, so I played round 1, I played against Blue Baby from set 21. But, you know, I've been testing with Tom Smith from Team Deck Planet, who is the best Blue Baby player in Europe, so I wasn't ever going to lose that matchup. Luckily, yeah, I knew what the deck did, so it wasn't catching me by surprise in any way. And I was just sort of able to grind it out and then drop down the Gohan so that he couldn't Sparking D Magic and just push through on a massive kill turn. Round 2, I was against Golden Frieza, a very interesting Golden Frieza build, abusing the 5-drop Goku Frieza to play from Z Energy every turn. That was my only loss. Again, like Mikey, I feel like my loss was a game that I could have won. I could have comboed out of a double strike swing. In fact, it was on stream, so you guys may have seen it. But I could have comboed out of a double strike swing to keep myself at 3 life. What I did instead was I just took the damage, went to 1 life, and got punished by a mirror, which was a big mirror by that point. But I do feel like if I'd lived that turn, I would have been able to kill next turn. But it's a card game. We'll get caught out by these things, especially in best of 3, or best of 1 even.
Yep.
And then round 3, I was against Blue Trunks Future. And again, that 1-drop Gohan came in clutch, just force him to tap out, drop Evil Saiyan SCR, have the Gohan on board. That was the game where he went to drop 2 Beeruses on me, and I just Super Kamehameha them both. And yeah, it was a clean game from the Evil Saiyan. And then the last 3 rounds were all 3 Green Gohans. Very different builds across the board, but I think all of them ended up running the Goku secret rare from the new set. And so I was having
I had the Cell Maxes.
You had Cell Max? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Green Gohan game, as we'll discuss in a minute, I'm sure, but a lot of the Green Gohan game is just trying to figure out which secret rare they might play, because it's best of one.
That's bullshit, because they have a lot of them. And
yeah.
Like, playing around one makes you vulnerable to another one, and that's the decision I had to make in my game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of it was just negating leader swings. I didn't play, by the sounds of things, I played very differently to Mikey in that matchup. I was not petrifying the Vegeta turn 1, although, to be fair, 2 of the 3 Green Gohans I played against were not playing the Vegeta package as far as I saw. So they played Krillin, but I was never petrifying turn 1, and I also wasn't siding in Shins, which kind of didn't lean into that strategy. But, yeah, no. It works out anyways. A lot of the time I was forcing them to use their secret rare on defense, or I'd use the thing that I mentioned earlier where I'd let them pressure me to 4 life and then awaken to get an 8 drop on their turn, and then just pressure them huge on their next turn and try and force a kill the turn after. But yeah, we can discuss the how to play against the different method decks now if you want to.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So we've got some leaders here to represent. I feel like these are kind of the top decks of the meta. I guess we'll discuss Gohan first. We've got a stack here. So, Gohan. I feel like it's definitely the most popular deck in the meta, and we've definitely discussed it a good bit already. A lot of it is just petrification. Obviously, you've said...
Petrification, Shin, Mechikabura for me.
Yeah.
And Bardock the Tenacious.
Yeah, Bardock the Tenacious. I feel like Hunt is nice to side as a one-off because the deck draws so much. You can definitely catch them off guard if you need it for a kill turn. But yeah, it is very much a game of like, a lot of the time I would push really hard, and then especially if I was going into turn 5 because I was scared of like Cell Xeno, I would play Meki from deck and cool 8-drop Goku Gohan, and just make sure that they can't get that down, and then that means that they have to build up Cell Xeno another way if they're playing that as well. But yeah, like you say, a lot of it is just cycling between Bardock, Shin, and Meki, or just leaving energy open for the petrification, and then just forcing a lot of damage through. I think by the sounds of things as well, I was playing a lot more aggressively than you might have been with not petrifying early Vegeta, and just going for like aggro crits early with the Toa Chain, I think.
Yeah, I every time I sat against the Gohan, I was like chilling on my seat and just waiting for the SCR turn. That's what I was doing. But that's my style. I tend to do this and just grind out my opponents. And yeah, that's why we differ the strategy for the Gohan. I'd rather cut their strategy early on so I can survive more turns. And all is just swinging face.
Yeah, my logic behind it was because a lot of the strategy against Green Gohan is, for me at least personally, I just take all of the early hits, try and get an 8-drop down on the Awaken turn on defense if you can, but just take all of the early hits, try and load up on negates in hand and Gohan resin drop so that you can take yourself safely from 3 life to 2 life, depending on which SCR they have. And as soon as you get to Z Leader, you just win the game probably, because you have Petrification for the 8-drop, and the 20k on the Z Leader carries you out of most of the rest of the deck swings, other than the Secret Rare. So as long as you're able to save a negate for Leader Swing each turn, or you just have combo power to combo out of the Leader Swing, and then just like save a Gohan Rare if they run Cell Max, and then you're probably fine. The main hole to that strategy that I found was Cell Xeno, because it's really hard to play around Cell Xeno because I was siding out token negates, but also if they rip the token negate out of your hand, you lose anyways. So the reason why I would go so aggressive is I just aimed to kill them before turn 5 so that they couldn't Cell Xeno me. You do also have Petrification though.
Bardock on turn 5. Trust me.
Bardock on turn 5 is solid. Again, if I did get to turn 5, I was playing Meki from deck to cool 8 drop so that they couldn't like make the numbers for SALSERINO so easily.
To be honest, that's going to be a bold statement, but I think Gohan is getting less and less. I mean, it's very highly representative deck, but I think I'm going to be spoiling now, but it's not a lot of representation in top 16.
Yeah.
At least in top 8 for that regional, and that's the reason for that, because more people learn about flaws of the deck, and as you can see, there are many as we are talking. I'm breaking the hyperbolic chain plays. Oli is just rushing through them and just kind of just focusing on negating the 8 drops. To be honest, except the 8 drop, the deck barely does anything. Like, it has to put the cards under the hyperbolic to play it turn after. So you have to every turn prepare your next turn, which is kind of not ideal, to be honest, because you're spending energy for the plays that you are doing the next turn, and you might not survive until the next turn.
Something else that I was doing, speaking of telegraphing your next turn, because oftentimes turn 2 they're playing the Z battle card, right, to get the Goku and Gohan under. What I did, I think every game or almost every game, I would leave 2 energy open going into their turn 3, so that I could, when they played the Goku and then killed it off to play the Gohan from under the field, I could counterplay with Toa and shuffle the Goku back into their deck so they can't free combo and draw off it. And I think I had at least one person counterplay this because they couldn't lose the Goku to get the free draw. They used like a focus breakthrough or something on it at the time. But it definitely put in the work, because it was just like, it denied them that free draw power, it cycled me again, and then if they continued to swing, I combo it off, I get another free draw, and then it's like 50% of the 8 drop, because I then would use the other energy, I would then awaken with to get 2 energy up, combo 2, and then 8 drop on their turn. So that was generally what I would do on going into their turn 3.
Yeah, you see, I wasn't even bothered by Gohan turn 2 because he couldn't play it.
Exactly. That's 2 very different ways of playing the deck. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the main Gohan stuff.
Yeah, it's so linear, the Gohan stuff.
Yeah, it's, since it lost the super combo loop, I've never really considered it to be like, it's a fine deck, but I don't think it's, I don't think it's the best deck, let's say.
Yeah.
Trunks Xeno, neither of us played this deck against this deck at all, but the main 2 decks we were looking to counter were Gohan and Trunks Xeno, because both of these decks felt like most of the time just free wins. Trunks Xeno, when I say this deck feels like a free win, I mean this is a free win. You get to awaken on turn 2 because they have to warp 5 for their leader skill. You can sometimes like, when they warp 3 to play the blocker, you then warp the blocker with your Toa chain, you get 4 in their warp, you then awaken, play Meki from deck, cool Trunks Xeno 5 drop, they can't play for next turn, and you just pressure and kill them. Yeah, it's so unfair.
Game is over when you play Meki and call Trunks 5 drop, it's over.
Yeah.
By that point, and then you will just use the chain to warp the cards from his hand, because he will not give you the unison, probably.
Yeah, and if he gives you the unison, whilst the unison is not great for you, because all it is a 15k swing, you can then use
it's a double strike, Champa.
You can then use the Spirit Boost skill on this Toa to give your Demon Realm Races double strike and plus 15k, because you have a unison in play. So yeah, if they give you the unison, which a lot of the time I found in testing that sometimes like in the middle of the game they'll start giving you the unison because warping 2 becomes too expensive, you just get to double strike them afterwards. But yeah, this matchup is like, it's so free. They have a unison that has to go to 4 or more markers a lot of the time so that they can like awaken and stuff. They early awaken you. You have your 3-drop Toa full auto live with the unison. Yeah, it's crazy. And the deck is like so reliant on that Trunks 5-drop early game to set up the overrealms that you then just play Meki cool Trunks 5-drop. And then either they're not overwhelming throughout the game to deny you draw power, or they're overwhelming and you just get to free combo out of so many swings. Vegito. I don't have the leader, but we have the Z battle card to represent it. I've not really tested against this deck too much. I feel like you're probably more experienced both playing the deck and against Vegito when it comes to the Shroom Salsa.
You just repeat the defensive process that we covered earlier. Shin, Meki, Bardock. Shin, Meki, Bardock. It's 3 turns, and the turn after you just SCR and win the game.
Yeah. I'd say the only thing to watch out for when doing this is that Shin can get counterplayed by Resolve Renewed if they leave energy up.
Yeah,
but
you have to
that's
Shin
where...
on your turn, before the opponent reaches 3 energy.
Yeah.
And after that, you have to go Bardock or Meki.
Yeah, that's where Meki is so good because it has Deflect. And then also Bardock is just like a free win a lot of it. It's just Baby Hatch, honestly. Yeah, and then as long as you see Secret Rare in this matchup, I think it's okay. Because the Secret Rare warping the 5-drop off the board so that they have like no way to defend with. It's pretty much curtains from there, I find.
Yeah.
Android 21. This deck seems to get a lot of representation, but I've never liked the deck personally. I feel like with this deck, a lot of it is going tool rather than wide. You don't want to rely on the Toa chain other than maybe on turn 2, because they have Realm once they awaken. They have Gohan Rare. They have... What's the other card? There's another card that can remove it on opponent's turn.
Goku Black.
Goku Black and Kusu counterplay if they have 2 energy open. They have lots of ways to disrupt your Toa chain. So unless you're doing it super early, you just don't really use the Toa chain, I find. Unless you're maybe baiting their last energy out or something. This, you've told me, is where the Koitsukais are meant to come in. That's why I've got them in the sideboard. I didn't use them for anything other than Android 21 in theory. But yeah, Koitsukai, I did test one game against Android 21 and I just stayed on 8 life the whole game, so Koitsukai is going to do more than Super Kamehameha would.
Yeah.
Meki is broken in this matchup. You call 4, drop Android 21. They can't play the game because they can't Z-Battle card. They can't use their Floodgate. They can't use their Draw 2 card. They can't SCR. And if they A-drop you, you petrify it. So yeah, Meki is dumb. And SCR will win you the game as soon as you draw it against this deck, I find. Now, the big bad. The Majin.
My boy.
Your boy. The Polish Spice himself.
The ground punching.
We tested this matchup so much. And when I mean so much, I mean like almost every night in the past week, I think. I am very tired of playing against this deck with Shroom Salsa. It feels like an awful matchup. The lack of barrier removal is just abysmal. And the fact that you have to run Black Smoke to have a chance, I hate it. I think it's still a winnable matchup, but it just doesn't feel fun or interesting in any way.
Imagine just have tools to deal with other stuff, and it's
if there's a deck that this deck struggles against, it's definitely
your idea is to go 20 crit into 2 15k swings. Imagine what it does is just takes life, beams himself, and combo 1 card, and there was your pressure.
Exactly.
Which also I think the deck is great because of it. I think it's the best yellow leader in terms of being a leader, right? The power of the
it is a very strong
the card
deck.
itself is amazing. You have to just constantly remove his stuff and be patient. You can't overextend, because if you overextend, you will die.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And by not overextending, I mean even leaving the turn with 3 energy, like using 1 energy for something, pulling out some cards of his hand, like checking what moves he makes, and then passing with 3 energy, just so you can maybe play an 8-drop, maybe use the Gohan Rare to clear the Vegeta or Goku, maybe I don't know, use Power Burst or play Twisted Sister. You have to like be the grindier.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all a game of value when it comes against Majin. Like, you have to force their cards out when they think they might get the most value, and then try and deny value from it from there. And that's what, there will definitely be turns where you just pass with 3 energy open because it denies value from cards like Riposte or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Margin is tough. It will get much easier next format with the Combo 7 drop. I can't wait. And then the last deck, I feel like that's one of the meta ones would be Golden Freezer. Against this deck, I feel like, because most Golden Freezer decks, like the standard list is going to run Golden Cooler SCR. You just stay on 3 energy. They can't drop it anymore. Because even if you petrify it, the amount of hand size that you lose from Golden Cooler is just too much. So you just stay on 3 energy until you go for a kill turn. And if they ever drop the Gohan Unison down, you just start cycling Toas like you would against the Boo Unison.
I have nothing else to add.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to check. Yeah, I feel like that's most of the Golden Freezer matchup. And as well, something that's really nice against the Unison list is that you can remove so many of their 1-drops from the drop so that they can't bring them back off the higher dragon. It can really just choke them out of resources as the game goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You basically awaken 6 or 7 life with Golden Freezer.
Yeah. And again, the Black Marseillan is going to be MVP against that deck when they start swinging with the 25k triple attack. You just go Black Marseillan, Z Awaken, combo 5k, combo 5k, combo 5k. It's fine. But yeah, that's kind of the whole list. That's how how both of us would recommend playing against these top tier meta decks. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add last minute, Mikey? Any shout outs you might want to give?
Shout out to Oli for inventing the deck. I was just piloting it and giving some advices. Yeah, shout out to Team -2 and to great community, to the lookout, to our new teammates.
Yes,
Giovanni and Francesco. Awesome teammates.
Yeah,
we tested a lot with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's my shout out. That's my shout out.
All right, well, appreciate having you on here as always, Mikey. Thanks very much for joining us today in the Big O Notation YouTube channel. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys can pick up some Shroom Salsa. I think that it's a very strong deck right now. It counters a lot of the meta, as we've discussed, and I think it'll only get stronger with Black in the next set. So why not pick it up? Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.